It's a long-awaited development for Lupin. The company has received the final USFDA nod for the generic version of the $1 billion respiratory drug by Boehringer Ingelheim, Spiriva. The inhaler is used to manage conditions such as bronchospasms associated with lung conditions such as chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. One of the key reasons for the upside in the stock is because there was uncertainty in the launch, which arose from the delay in approvals due to queries from the US drug regulator a year ago. The management by Q4 of FY23 was, however, confident of launching the drug. They had indicated that they could hear from the drug regulator by June or July if an inspection was not required, and by August if it was. One of the big clues for a possible US approval was the company receiving an approval in Canada just at the end of May, sometimes a precursor to a nod for the US. Now, one of the key positives is that this is an earlier than expected approval. The street had penciled in an approval by the second half of FY24, with some even skeptical of that timeline. The other positive is that it is expected to be a limited competition drug for at least the next 3 years. The street is currently penciling in around a 3-player market, including Lupin. So how much can Lupin make? The net sales of the handy hailer is around $500 to $700 million. Assuming around 35 to 50% price erosion, the dynamics of which can change based on how Boehringer Ingelheim reacts, the street is estimating the company can make $35 to $50 million in FY24 and can ramp up to sales of around $80 to $130 million by FY25. The street is even assuming peak sales of up to $140 million. All this is likely to translate into an EPS addition of around 3 to 5 rupees in FY24 and around 10 to 11 rupees by FY25. The larger picture for Lupin is a recovery from the US sales, from which it gets around 32% of its total sales and has been plagued by factors such as price pressure in FY23. With Spiriva Generic in the near term, the US sales should scale up to at least around $200 million of quarterly sales from the US, pushing the US generic sales to over $850 million by FY25 versus the $632 million recorded in FY23. The street believes a lot of the good news from Spiriva Generic is factored into the stock. The stock itself has rallied around 45% from lows it hit in August of last year. It is trading at valuations of around 35 to 39 times FY24 PE and 20 to 23 times FY25 PE around historical peaks. The next trigger for the street will be the sustainability in the US sales, approval of key drugs, as well as an overall recovery in the margins of the company.